Hi, and welcome to episode 2. If you remember last week, we talked about TV show Seinfeld and how ordinary life is not nothing. There's actually a few times this past week where I would ask someone, what did you do today? What's up? They'd be like, oh, nothing. And I'd be like, it's not nothing. I'm sure you read the paper or, went to work, talked to a friend. Anyway, so just saying, it's not nothing. And the second thing is, it's no small thing that you exist because you could have not existed. Have you ever thought about it that way? It's pretty interesting. Anyway, some food for thought. This week, I would like to talk about another classic in the English language, not Seinfeld. It's a poem by Chaucer called The Book of the Duchess. And I've never studied it myself. It was my brother who told me about it. But what he told me about it seemed pretty interesting, so I read up on it a little bit, and it's the story about a poet who falls asleep, and in his dreams he meets a knight, and this knight has lost his wife, and he's talking about how amazing his wife is, and the poet it's actually pretty funny, but the poet is like, it's great you think that way about your wife, but you think that way. She wasn't actually the best. And the knight is kind of a little, indignant and is like, no, she was the best. Anyone could see she was the best. And the poet is constantly trying to, tone down the knight's admiration for his wife. It's pretty funny, and but it also shows they must be pretty good friends to be talking like this. But anyway, I want to read the lines I'm referring to. This is in translated to modern English. I could not read the original text. 'Twould be horrendous. So these are lines 1034 to 1054. Okay. So actually, no, skip to 1038. Okay, so talking about his wife, and he's saying, my joy, my passion, and my wife. Sorry, my joy, my passion, and my life. This is the night. My fortune, health, and all my bliss. My world's welfare, and my goddess. And I was hers wholly, as I do tell. And then the poet, by our Lord, quoth I believe it well. Assuredly your love was well sent. I know not how you might better it. Right? He's saying, I don't know how much better you could get. And the knight says, better it? No, nor do so well, quoth he. I well believe it, quoth I, pardon me. Nay, believe it well, and the poet. Sir, I do indeed. I can well believe that truly you thought that she was the best. And to behold the very fairest, to whomever might see her with your eyes. And the knight, this is his, indignant reaction. With mine, nay, all that her descried, said, and swore that it was so. Right, so here we have, the knight is describing his wife, and the poet is like, she's pretty great. Don't know how much better you could get. But then he says this line of, I'm sure you think that way. And I'm sure we can understand where the knight's coming from, where sometimes we say something, and it's just not good enough for our interlocutor to say, I'm sure you think that way. No, it is that way. And we also understand where the poet's coming from, in that, it's just that you have a slightly biased opinion since you're talking about your wife. So, don't know how objective you can be about this here. But I really like the knight's response, right? When we're talking about, is it this way? Is it not this way? Is it the truth? Is it just an opinion? How do we decide? The knight says, to all that her descried. To describe. Okay, I looked it up in the dictionary. I thought it meant to see, and it does. And it means to see, to perceive, something that's maybe unclear, but with some effort and some discernment, you can see. So I think that's a good response, that you can actually see if something is the case or not, using your senses. Basically things can become clear if we really look into them.